Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. Well, it's New Year's. Everyone's making their New Year's resolutions list. And so, me like many villains are turning to a list made by the famous evil overlord Peter. Because we keep fucking up too much. And, well, I'd say it's about time I fixed this. So, I'll be reading them and making snide comments as well as a few footnotes. There will not be things. Well, there will not be text on the screen because, some, my editing software is not working, and I'm not in the mood to use Windows Movie Maker again for a while. So let's get on with this. Number 1. My legions of terrors will have helmets with clear plexiglass visors, not face-concealing ones. Number 2. My ventilation ducts will be too small to crawl through. Number 3. My noble half-brother, whose throne I usurped, will be killed, not kept anonymously imprisoned in a forgotten cell of my dungeon. 4. Shooting is not too good for my enemies. 5. The artifact, which is the source of my power, will not be kept on the mountain of despair beyond the river of fire, guarded by the dragons of eternity. It will be in my safe deposit box. Same applies to the object which is my one weakness. 6. I will not gloat over my enemy's predicament before killing them. 7. When I've captured my adversary, and he says, "Look, before you kill me, will you at least tell me what this is all about?" I'll say, "No," and shoot him. No, on second thought, I'll shoot him and then say, "No." 8. After I kidnap the beautiful princess, we will be married immediately in a quiet civil ceremony, not a lavish spectacle in 3 weeks' time, during which the final phase of my plan will be carried out. 9. I will not include a self-destruct mechanism unless absolutely necessary. If it is necessary, it will not be a large red button labeled "Danger, Do Not Push." The big red button marked "Do Not Push" will instead trigger a spray of bullets on anyone stupid enough to disregard it. Similarly, the on-off switch will not clearly be labeled as such. 10. I will not interrogate my enemies in the inner sanctum. A small hotel well outside my borders will work just as well. 11. I will be secure in my superiority. Therefore, I will feel no need to prove it by leaving clues in the form of riddles or leaving my weaker enemies alive to show they pose no threat. 12. One of my advisors will be an average 5-year-old child, as hard as they are to handle and not want to murder. Any flaws in my plan that he is able to spot will be corrected before implementation. 13. All slain enemies will be cremated, or at least have several rounds of ammunition emptied into them, not left for dead at the bottom of the cliff. The announcement of their deaths, as well as any accompanying celebration, will be deferred until after the aforementioned disposal. 14. The hero is not entitled to a last kiss, a last cigarette, or any form of last request. 15. I will never employ any device with a digital countdown. If I find that such a device is absolutely unavoidable, I will set it to activate when the counter reaches 117 and the hero is just putting his plan into operation. 16. I will never utter the sentence, "But before I kill you, there is just one thing I want you to know." 17. When I employ people as advisors, I will occasionally listen to their advice. 18. I will not have a son. Although his laughably underplanned attempt to usurp power would easily fail, it will provide a fatal distraction at a crucial point in time. 19. I will not have a daughter. She would be as beautiful as she was evil, but one look at the hero's rugged countenance, however you pronounce that, and she'd betray her own father. 20. Despite its proven stress-relieving effect, I will not indulge in maniacal laughter. Feel free to ignore this one. When so occupied, it's easy to miss unexpected developments that a more attentive individual could adjust to accordingly. 21. I will hire a talented fashion designer to create original uniforms for my legions of terrors, as opposed to some cheap knockoff that makes them look like Nazi stormtroopers, Roman foot soldiers, or savage Mongol hordes. All were eventually defeated, and I want my troops to have a more positive mindset. Number 22. No matter how tempted I am with the prospect of unlimited power, I will not consume any energy field bigger than my head. 23. I will keep a special cache of low-tech weapons and train my troops in their use. That way, even if the heroes manage to neutralize my power generator and or render the standard energy weapon useless, my troops will not be overrun by a handful of savages armed with spears and rocks. 24. I will maintain a realistic assessment of my strengths and weaknesses. Even though this takes some of the fun out of the job, at least I will never utter the line, "No, this cannot be, I am invincible." After that, death is usually instantaneous. 25. No matter how well it would perform, I will never construct any sort of machinery which is completely indestructible except for one virtually inaccessible and vulnerable point. Unless you have to, in which make the point moot and hide a bunch of traps not in the blueprints and other aspects. But anyways, 26. No matter how attractive certain members of the rebellion are, there's probably someone just as attractive who is not desperate to kill me. Therefore, I will think twice before ordering a prisoner sent to my bedroom. 27. I will never build only one of anything important. All systems will have redundant control panels and power supplies. For the same reason, I will always carry at least 2 fully loaded weapons at all times. 28. My pet monster will be... Well, that movie was terrible, but still. My pet monster will be kept in a secure cage from which it cannot escape and into which I cannot accidentally stumble. 29. I will dress in bright and cheery colors and so throw my enemies into confusion. Like hot, bright magenta. 30. All bumbling conjurers, clumsy squires, no-talent bards, and cowardly thieves in the land will be preemptively put to death. My foes will surely give up and abandon their quest if they have no source of comic relief. 31. All naive tavern waitresses in my realm will be replaced with surly, world-weary waitresses who will provide no unexpected reinforcement and or romantic subplot for the hero and or his sidekick. 32. I will not fly into a rage and kill a messenger who brings me bad news just to illustrate how evil I really am. Good messengers are hard to come by. 33. I won't require high-ranking female members of my organization to wear a stainless steel bustier, or else better with a more casual dress code. Similarly, outfits made entirely from black leather will be reserved for formal occasions. 34. I will not turn into a snake, it never helps. 35. I will not grow a goatee. In the old days, they made you look diabolic. Now they just make you look like a disaffected member of Generation X. Whatever that is. Yeah. 36. I will not imprison members of the same party in the same cell block, let alone the same cell. If they are important prisoners, I will keep the only key to the cell door on my person instead of handing out copies to every bottom rung guard in the prison. 37. If my trusted lieutenant tells me my legions of terror are losing the battle, I will believe him. After all, he is my trusted lieutenant. And you might want to have someone fact check that. 38. If an enemy I have just killed has a younger sibling or offspring anywhere, I will find them and have them killed immediately, instead of waiting for them to grow up, harboring feelings of vengeance toward me in my old age. And you might want to have parents killed off so that, well, they don't try to kill you for murdering their kid. I just realized this is going to be an endless cycle. 39. If I absolutely must ride into battle, I will certainly not ride at the forefront of my legions of terror, nor will I seek out my opposite number among his army. 40. I will be neither chivalrous nor sporting. If I have an unstoppable superweapon, I will use it as early and as often as possible instead of keeping it in reserve. 41. Once my power is secure, I will destroy all those pesky time travel devices. So you might want to keep a few hidden copies of the base general way they work in case you need it. 42. When I capture the hero, I will make sure I also get his dog, monkey, ferret, or whatever sickeningly cute animal capable of untying ropes and filching keys happens to follow them around. 43. I will maintain a healthy amount of skepticism whenever I capture the beautiful rebel and she claims she is attracted to my power and good luck, and will gladly betray her companions if I just let her in on my plans. 44. I will only employ bounty hunters who work for money. Those who work for the pleasure of the hunt tend to do dumb things like even the odds to give the other guy a sporting chance. 45. I will make sure I have a clear understanding of who is responsible for what in my organization. For example, if my general screws up, I will not draw my weapon, point it at him, and say, "And here is the price for failure," and then suddenly turn and kill some random underling. Good help is hard to find these days. 46. If an advisor says to me, "My liege, he is but one man, what could he possibly do?" I will reply, "This," and kill the advisor. 47. If I learn that a callow youth has begun a quest to destroy me, I will slay him while he is still a callow youth, instead of waiting for him to mature. 48. I will treat any beast which I control through magic or technology with respect and kindness. Thus, if the control is ever broken, it will not immediately come after me for revenge. Why wouldn't you? 49. If I learn the whereabouts of the one artifact which can destroy me, I will not send all my troops out to seize it. Instead, I will send them out to seize something else and quietly put a want ad in the local paper. Then send a few people to find the real one and hide it elsewhere. 50. My main computers will have their own special operating system that will be completely incompatible with standard IBM and Macintosh PowerBooks. 51. If one of my dungeon guards begins expressing concern over the conditions in the beautiful princess's cell, I will immediately transfer him to a less people-oriented position. 52. I will hire a team of bound certified architects and surveyors to examine my castle and inform me of any secret passages and abandoned tunnels I might not know about. Might want to hire a few extras just in case they miss something or are intentionally leading you out. Whatever. 53. If the beautiful princess that I capture says, "I'll never marry you, never, do you hear me, never," I will say, "Oh well," and kill her. 54. I will not strike a bargain with a demonic being, then attempt to double-cross him, simply because I feel like being contrary. 55. The deformed mutants and oddball psychotics will have their place in my legions of terror. However, before I send them out on important covert missions that require tact and subtlety, I will first see if there is anyone else equally qualified or more who would attract less attention. 56. My legions of terror will be trained in basic marksmanship. Any who cannot learn to hit a man-sized target at least 10 meters away will be used for target practice. 57. Before employing any captured artifacts or machinery, I will carefully read the owner's manual. 58. If it becomes necessary to escape, I will never stop to pose dramatically and toss off a one-liner until afterwards or during you, or like when you're in the escape pod. 59. I will never build a sentient computer smarter than I am, or one that can betray you or build a better computer. Well, 60. My 5-year-old child advisor will also be asked to decipher any code I am thinking of using. If he breaks the code in under 30 seconds, it will not be used. Note this also applies to passwords. 61. If my advisor asks, why are you risking everything on such a mad scheme, I will not proceed until I have a response that satisfies him. 62. I will design fortress hallways with no alcoves or protruding structural supports, which intruders could use for cover in a firefight, unless you intend on placing secret weapons inside them, i.e. explosives or hidden guns to blast them into pieces. 63. Bulk trash will never be disposed of in bulk trash will be disposed of in incinerators, not compactors. And they will be kept hot with none of that nonsense about flames going through accessible tunnels at predictable intervals. 64. I will see a competent psychiatrist and get cured of all extremely unusual phobias and bizarre compulsive habits, which could prove to be a disadvantage. 65. If I have a computer system with publicly available terminals, the maps they display of my complex will have a room clearly marked as main control room. That room will be the execution chamber. The actual main control room will be marked as sewage overflow containment. 66. My security keypad will actually be a fingerprint scanner. Anyone who watches someone press a sequence of buttons or dust the pad for fingerprints, then subsequently tries to enter by repeating that sequence, will trigger the alarm system. 67. No matter how many shorts we have in the system, my guards will be instructed to treat every surveillance camera malfunction as a full-scale emergency. 68. I will spare anyone who saved my life sometime in the past. This is only reasonable as it encourages others to do so. However, the offer is good one time only. If they want me to spare them again, they'd better save my life again. 69. All midwives will be banned from the realm. All babies will be delivered in state-approved hospitals. Orphans will be placed in good, well-monitored foster homes, not abandoned in the woods to be raised by creatures of the wild. And you might want to have a team go look for those. 70. When my guards split up to search for intruders, they will always travel in groups of at least 2. They will be trained so that if one of them disappears mysteriously while on patrol, the other will immediately initiate an alert and call for backup instead of quizzically peering around a corner. 71. If I decide to test a lieutenant's loyalty and see if he or she should be my trusted lieutenant, I will have a crack squad of marksmen standing by in case the answer is no. 72. If all the heroes are standing together around a strange device and begin to taunt me, I will pull out a conventional weapon instead of using my unstoppable super weapon on them. And you might want to figure out what that device is too. 73. I will not agree to let the heroes go free if they win a rigged contest, even though my advisors assure me it is impossible for them to win. 74. When I create a multimedia presentation of my plan, designed so that my 5-year-old advisor can easily understand the details, I will not label it. I will not label the disk Project Overlord and leave it lying on top of my desk. 75. I will instruct my legions of terror to attack the hero en masse instead of standing around waiting while the numbers break off and attack in 1 or 2 at a time. 76. If the hero runs up to my roof, I will not run after him and struggle with him in an attempt to push him over the edge. I will also not engage him at the edge of a cliff. In the middle of a rope bridge over a river of molten lava is not even worth considering. 77. If I have a fit of temporary insanity and decide to give the hero the chance to reject a job as my trusted lieutenant, I will retain enough sanity to wait until my current trusted lieutenant is out of earshot before making the offer. 78. I will not tell my legions of terror, and he must be taken alive. The command will be, and try to take him alive if it is reasonably practical. 79. If my doomsday device happens to come with a reverse switch, as soon as it has been employed, it will be melted down and made into limited edition commemorative coins, whatever. 80. If my weakest troops fail to eliminate a hero, I will send out my best troops instead of wasting my time with progressively stronger ones as he gets closer and closer to my fortress. 81. If I am fighting with the hero atop a moving platform, have disarmed him, and I'm about to finish him off, and a glance behind me drops flat, I will too drop flat instead of quizzically turning around to find out what he saw. 82. I will not shoot at any any of my enemies if they are standing in front of a crucial point or crucial support beam to a heavy, dangerous, unbalanced structure. And you might want to have those structures fixed ASAP. 83. If I am eating dinner with the hero but put poison in his goblet, then have to leave for the table for any reason, I will order new drinks for both of us instead of trying to decide whether or not to switch with him. 84. I will not have captives of one gender guarded by members of the opposite. 85. I will not use any plan in which the final step is horribly complicated, i.e., align the 12 stones of power on the sacred altar, then activate the medallion at the point of total eclipse. Instead, it will be more along the lines of push the button. 86. I will make sure that my doomsday device is up to code and properly guarded. 87. My vats of hazardous chemicals will be covered when not in use. Also, I will not construct walkways above them. 88. If a group of henchmen fail miserably at a task, I will not berate them for incompetence, then send the same group out to try the task again. 89. After I capture the hero's super weapon, I will not immediately disband my legions and relax my guard, because I believe whoever holds the weapon is unstoppable. After all, the hero held the weapon and I took it from him. 90. I will not design my main control room so that every workstation is facing away from the door. 91. I will not ignore the messenger that stumbles in, exhausted and obviously agitated, until my personal grooming or current entertainment is finished. It might actually be important. 92. If I ever talk to the hero on the phone, I will not taunt him. Instead, I will say his dogged perseverance has given me new insight on the futility of my evil ways, and that if he leaves me alone for a few months of quiet contemplation, I will likely return to the path of righteousness. Heroes are incredibly gullible in this regard. 93. If I decide to hold a double execution of the hero and an underling who failed or betrayed me, I will see to it that the hero is scheduled to go first. And if he is not going first, forcefully ensure that he is killed. 94. When arresting prisoners, my guards will not allow them to grab a useless trinket of seemingly sentimental value. Have the guards themselves take it and bring it directly to you. 95. My dungeon will have its own qualified medical staff complete with bodyguards. That way, if a prisoner becomes sick and his cellmate tells the guard it's an emergency, the guard will fetch a trauma team instead of opening up the cell for a look-see. 96. My door mechanisms will be designed so that blasting the control panel on the outside seals the door, and blasting the control panel on the inside opens the door, not vice versa. Or just have it completely open it. Or have it completely fail. 98. If an attractive young couple enters my realm, I will carefully monitor their activities. If I find they are happy and affectionate, I will ignore them. However, if the circumstances have forced them together against their will and they spend all their time bickering and criticizing each other, except during intermediate occasions when they are saving each other's lives and there is hints of tension, I will immediately order their execution. 99. Any data file of crucial importance will be padded to 1.45 megabytes in size. 100. Finally, to keep my subjects permanently locked in mindless trance, I will provide each of them with free unlimited internet access. Of course, these are only 100 out of what would appear to be 231. So, join us next time when I read Cell Block A and the 125 it contains. See you soon.